channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name's Lisa. It's Tom MacDonald Tuesday, which means more reactions to Tom MacDonald music. This one is going to be the official music video to his track Cancer. Now, I'm not too sure what this is going to be about. Is it going to be about personal experience, people that maybe have died from cancer that he's known, or is it something being a cancer, you know, like a figure of speech sort of thing, certain issues or whatever going on in the world? It's like a, you know, like a cancer, essentially, things that like rot your brain. I don't know. I kind of like think that I sort of get an idea of what it's going to be about by the title, but sometimes I get surprised and it's actually nothing like it. I think the reaction that I did for his track Gravestones got me like that as well. I actually thought it was going to be something to do with war veterans or in relation to people that he lost, or that he's known that he's lost in his life, and it wasn't actually like that really. So I'm not too sure about this one. It could be about that, or it could be about something completely different, and it may just be sort of a figure of speech, like a play on words. I'm sure I will find out. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it and find out what this is about. Here we go.
Everybody knows someone who's sick. 40% will get cancer. Only half's gonna live. Your mom and your dad and your sister stand inside a room, and someone won't survive it. Do you hope it isn't you? I swear that cancer has a cure, but they're refusing to make it. They've done like 40 years of research, 90 billion in donations. We've been running for the cure and wearing ribbons for ages. Why are people still going through radiation? It's crazy. $100 billion industry,
wow.
They can't afford to end it, and nobody wants to die. Our only option is to spend it. We'd give anything to stick around for just another second. Give a fortune to the doctors who promise they can extend it. The profits are astronomical, the hospitals and the clinics are filling coffins with dollars. It's awful, let's just admit it. We're all human, we'll keep fighting cause it's how we survive. But it's scary cause we don't know where we'll go when we die. Don't give up, I know you're strong. Show them all your fire. The days are hard, the nights are long, but you are a fighter when it's dire. You burn brighter in the dark. You're a survivor when you're tired. You hold tighter, you have heart.
Right, I'm just going to pause it there and just yeah, just say a couple of things, just give my first impressions. Okay, this is actually talking about cancer as a very, very real thing, and how it affects so many people. Like pretty much everybody knows somebody, whether that be someone close, really close to you, whether that's be an acquaintance or a friend who has gone through cancer or passed away from cancer. I personally know quite a number of people who have had cancer. Some have recovered and been okay and are still with us, and many others sadly have died, including my own mum, who passed away in 2006, and in 2002 she had cancer originally. She had breast cancer and she had treatment for that, radiotherapy, chemotherapy, and we were grateful to kind of get an extra 4 years before it returned. And sadly she passed away from lung cancer in 2006, and she hadn't she'd smoked for about sort of 20 odd years on and off before that, but she'd also quit for, I think it was probably getting on 20 years, maybe even a bit more than that. When she was actually diagnosed with the lung cancer, it was secondary cancer. And obviously the doctors had told her that there was a chance after the first time round that it would come back, and it could come back more aggressive or somewhere else, and also that it possibly wouldn't, that she would be absolutely fine. And as it turned out, she obviously wasn't, and it did return somewhere else. And yeah, it was a blow, because obviously she'd gone through the treatment and she got the all clear. For 4 years she was fine, although having said that, my mum always did say she seemed to have an intuition that she said that it will come back in less than 5 years, and next time I won't be so lucky. So she was right, she was spot on. It was 4 years and she wasn't so lucky. And yeah, that kind of yeah, that's a heck of a blow to lose a parent, to lose anybody, but certainly from my personal experience, to lose a parent. I mean, I've lost aunts and uncles to cancer as well, and these are aunts and uncles that, I mean, with my family, you know, we don't see each other all the time, you know, we're not, you know, really close, but it is still sad when you lose somebody that you've kind of known since you were a child, since you were tiny. and all of a sudden they're not there anymore. You have to come to terms with the fact that you'll never see them at family get-togethers, you'll never see them at another family wedding or christening or a milestone birthday party or anything like that. And it really does kind of sort of hit you, especially as you get older. And from my point of view, I'm 43 this October, and having children of my own, I'm very much aware that there is a history of cancer in my family, including with my mum and my maternal grandmother, as well as aunts and uncles on my father's side who have passed away. So there is very much a family history there, and it could very well happen to anybody, but it could very well happen to me, and my children will be faced with that prospect of losing me the way I did with my mum. And it's quite scary because it kind of makes you face your own mortality. It makes you think about it a lot more. And he made some brilliant points there where he sort of said about how much is spent on the whole medical industry of trying to find cures for it, and how much research they've done and how many years they've been doing this, and yet they still can't find a cure for it. And I know there are many cancers, many different types of cancer out there, so a lot of those professionals, those experts will say, well, sadly all cancers are kind of like different, they affect people differently, and we can't just come up with a cure-all that works on every single one of those cancers and every one of those people. It takes time, and sadly there are people that are going to be lost along the way. But you just tend to think, I don't know, there's like these rumours and these conspiracies around that they've actually had the cure for a long time, but with regards to the pharmaceutical companies and the whole thing there, there's this controversy and this conspiracy around the fact that they're actually withholding the cure for it in order to keep bringing in money, because otherwise it's not going to be as profitable if people are just going to be able to cure their cancer. They're not going to be needing the drugs and the chemotherapy and the radiotherapy, and the doctors are not going to get paid for administering those treatments and stuff. And it is a very scary prospect, really, when you think about it. If that is indeed true, that they've been withholding this perhaps even for a number of years, maybe even for a couple of decades or something, or even just in the last couple of years, you think of how many people could actually have been saved if they'd have not been so selfish, if that is indeed the case. And it makes you angry as well when you think about it, because it just kind of goes to prove that money can be the root of all evil. Money can be great, obviously a lot of people can do good things with it, but then unfortunately you get these pharmaceutical companies and the system and whoever's responsible for that. If they are indeed keeping it from people, then it proves that money talks louder than anything else, even when it comes to people's lives. And it doesn't just affect the people who end up passing away, or they end up getting sick and passing away. It affects their family and their friends, and it has a knock-on effect for future generations, because those people that are left have to pick up the pieces and live without that person. And it really does kind of get under my skin when I just think, or you look into kind of the conspiracies. And sadly, I actually think that obviously it would be shocking to a point, but sadly at the same time, part of me wouldn't be surprised if we did find this out in years to come, that they have actually been withholding it for decades, and they could have cured cancer and they could have saved a lot of people. But it's almost like a control thing, it's a greed thing. They care more about the money than they do about people. Sadly, that is the bad part of the system, that is a very real thing, I believe. It's not just a conspiracy, I don't think. I think there is a lot of truth in that and what he was saying. I props to him for doing a song about this and calling that whole system out and the whole pharmaceutical side of it, and sort of asking these questions and bringing these things up, because I think there's a lot of people that have got those questions, like how can you spend so much money on something and yet you still are not really much closer to finding a cure? You still can't get rid of it. And yet you'll spend money on other things that, for example, like, keeping, guns on the streets, or, alcohol or tobacco and stuff like that. And yet these are a lot of things that can actually kill people. You've got your priorities all wrong. You can find money for wars and other stuff like that, pay rises for, you know, politicians and things, but you can't find more money, and you can't find a cure for cancer, something that's been around for way too long and has killed so many people. You know, it's a bit suspect, I must say, but yeah, I love this. I love the fact it's just stripped back. It's kind of, you know, him sort of just like a close up on a black, you know, against a black screen, a black background, and yeah, obviously he's got a few actors there as well, including a young girl who's obviously just been told she's got it, and you know, sort of coming to terms with everything that goes with it, you know, having the treatment and losing her hair, and that's a very, very traumatic reality for a lot of people, sadly, and it shouldn't be the case anymore. We should have got rid of this a long time ago, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating and it's sad beyond belief. And yeah, I can only hope that even if those conspiracy theories are incorrect and they haven't actually yet found a cure for it, I really hope they do soon, because it's crazy. It really is crazy. Anyway, let's carry on and see what else he has to say. Yeah, this is a very poignant, very important message, a very important song for him to do, I think. And yeah, like I say, it's very close to my heart. It's very personal for me, but you know, as it is, I'm sure a lot of you watching. So yeah, let's carry on.
Nothing matters if you don't have your health. All the money in the world doesn't help. The good might go to heaven and the bad might go to hell, but no one wants to leave here, you can tell. And cancer touches everyone, it's in our genetics. And our world's become so toxic, it's all carcinogenic. We've polluted the water, the air, the food we're ingesting is full of hormones and poison. Our population's infected. They sell us cigarettes and liquor, built a business on addictions. We've been paying them to kill ourselves, we're dying to keep living. It's the system, it's a prison, we keep trying to beat it. We get cancer from keeping all of our demons a secret, and our insurance don't cover the things we need to defeat it. And even if it does, then we might die from the treatment. Our best defense is living like we do not know what cancer is. Fight it if you have it and pray that there's something after this.
God, that's so poignant. Wow. So unfair for anybody to get it, for a child. It's not fair. There's such tiny kids that have got it. Be brave too. Choose to fight when you're afraid. And you can experience strength till you struggle to carry the weight. And you won't know why you have faith till you look the devil in his face. And you don't know what you can take till you realize you didn't break. Don't give up, I know you're strong. Show them all your fire. The days are hard, the nights are. This is how it affects people around that person going through it. It's a knock-on effect. When it's dire, you burn brighter in the dark. You're a survivor when you're tired. You hold tighter, you have heart. Oh, Tom. Oh yeah, his expression at the end just said it all, really. He said it perfectly in that song. It just seems so backwards that, you know, they pay, or we pay, because we're forced to, because that's just the way things work. You know, the treatments for cancer that could end up killing us, because it's essentially putting poison into your body to try and kill off another poison, another disease, and it just seems so backwards. Like, can you not come up with a better way? Surely, I mean, this, you wouldn't even have to do that if you could just cure it. Surely there's got to be something out there. And I mean, I know there's people, for example, there's a doctor, a guy called Dr. Sebi, who claimed that he had found the cure for pretty much most cancers. And yeah, he was in custody, I believe, police custody, and he died in police custody. And obviously there's a whole conspiracy around that, is the fact that they basically silenced him. There's been other people as well that have tried to sort of do similar things to try and put that stuff out there, and they've been speaking on it and exposing the system and the whole conspiracy behind it, and also coming up with cures which have apparently worked. They, you know, they've done their own personal trials and things like that, and then they've either gone missing, never to be seen or heard from again, or they've died in suspicious circumstances, many people would say, or supposed suicides, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And you just think that's really suspect. Like, you can't help but, to me, you can't, you know, things like this happen and you can't help but wonder, are the conspiracy theories true? Are there really, you know, are there really truths in those conspiracies? A lot of people will look at conspiracy theorists and be like, oh, you're suspicious of everything, you know, you see conspiracy in everything. But I think you do have to question a lot of things, because the governments and the system will only tell you what they want you to know. And a lot of people may find that hard to believe, they may not want to believe it, but that is the truth. They will only tell you what they want you to know, and they will admit that to you. You know, we're not, you know, the world leaders and stuff, we're not going to tell the public every single thing, because they'll kind of say, oh, it's down to a national security issue, or, you know, it's top secret, it's, you know, we'll tell the public when it's the right time, or that the public can't handle it. But in actual fact, what they're probably saying in a lot of those cases is, we don't want the public to know, because otherwise the pressure will be on for us to do something about something, or to make it a mainstream thing, and to make it certain stuff like this, for example, to make it available to the public. And then we start losing money, the pharmaceutical companies start losing money, and that's not going to be good for us. So we'll just keep that one quiet. You know, it's the same with a lot of things. It's to do with money and power and control and greed, and it's sick, frankly, and things need to change. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. I mean, another great one shot by Nova. Brilliant, the parts played by the actors in this, absolutely awesome. Tom's delivery was exceptional, it was poignant, very emotional, heartfelt, very sincere. And I love the fact that he did a song about this, just drawing attention to it. So if you enjoyed this reaction too, guys, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with more Tom MacDonald reactions and reactions to other artists on Thursdays and Sundays. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
You're making it brighter right through the gray.